Well, hello everybody out there in YouTube land. This is Jay Kloddick again. Today I would like to talk about probably the most famous model kit of the most famous science fiction spacecraft of all, and that is the AMT model kit of the USS Enterprise. That was first issued starting in the late 1960s, actually during the second season of Star Trek. A couple AMT models were actually used as studio models, as it were. The most famous being the USS Constellation, which the Enterprise came across after the Doomsday Machine had a field day with it. Rather than altering a more expensive studio model, the effects crew at Howard Anderson and Associates decided to battle damage a AMT model kit instead, and they did a pretty effective job with it, if I do say so. But anyway, the reason why I'd like to talk about AMT model kits is what a lot of people don't know is that there's been a lot of changes made to the kit over the years, and the model kits currently available for sale are not the same plastic that was first issued in the 1960s. Most people would go, okay, so they're not. Why should I know that? Well, reason being is I am hoping this will make a really good guide to anybody that might want to try to purchase an 18-inch Enterprise on an auction site such as eBay or Craigslist to hopefully know what they're getting and not get taken for a ride. So, let's begin. Well, what you are seeing in front of you is the first box art that the AMT kit was boxed in back in 1966, or at least you would think that. Turns out what you are seeing in front of you is really a reproduction box produced by Round 2 about 2 years ago. And they pulled the old vintage box art out of mothballs and dusted it off, and this is what you see in front of you. Reason why I mention this is in case you are looking for a vintage Starship Enterprise model kit, just be careful that you may come across an unscrupulous seller that's trying to pass off this boxing as an original when it's clearly not, because the plastic is quite a bit different. Let me show you a couple of things that will tell you whether it's original. And for that purpose, I'm going to bring in an example of the second box art. This, starting in the second year of AMT's production, which was 1967, the box art was changed. Still the same dimensions on the packaging, but it was changed from a tall box to a horizontal long box. And it featured a picture of the Enterprise model itself rather than the original box art. Reason why I bring this out is I can use this as an example of what to look for on an original kit. An original version of this box art as opposed to a reproduction version. Okay. This is going to be the best clue right here that the kit you have is either reproduction box or original box, and that is the As Seen on NBC TV logo, as seen in the right hand here. Now if you notice, the layout did change a little from the first version long box to the second version, but enough of the layout was similar that you can use, that I can use for demonstration purposes, this box to showcase that this one is not an original. This little black area right here On the round 2 box, it does not say as seen on NBC TV. It says skill level 2, ages 10 and up, and has a bunch of other legalese and a web address. Well, skill levels didn't come about until the 1980s, so they definitely weren't around in the 60s. So, the original version of this box will say as seen on NBC TV because the first pressing of this kit was done while Star Trek was in production. Turning it around, and, well, my version 2 long box is, well, not exactly in pristine shape. I got it for the plastic, not for the box. But on the other side, you do see a blue features square, rounded corner square. An original one would have this as well, and a more complete long box would also have this little rectangle here. The original, the address would be different from what it is here. The address on the repo has the current address, round 2, South Bend, Indiana. An original would say AMT Corporation, Troy, Michigan. Picture of Mr. Spock would probably be there. Well, of course, on this version of the box art, they've got Mr. Spock and Captain Kirk here, so I'm presuming you would probably have something similar, or not. But if the box does not say as seen on NBC TV, it's not going to be an original version. So, if you see this style of box art during an eBay auction, somebody's trying to pass it off as the original, ask for them to shoot pictures of the side panels so you can see it, and then you'll be able to tell whether it's original or not. Moving on, things get a little trickier. What you see in front of you are two small box examples of the Starship Enterprise. Pretty much what they did was, in order to essentially slim down the amount of shelf space that a model takes up, AMT decided to reissue the kit in a smaller box. Now, several years ago, I did an article for culttvman.com that documented the changes to the plastic on the Starship Enterprise model kits, and that article is still available on culttvman.com. It's called History of the AMT Enterprise by Jay Klodek. And back when I originally did the article, the case seemed pretty clear-cut that all of the long box kits were made from the original 1966 tooling with several modifications done over the years, and all the small box kits were new tooling. Well, not so fast. It turns out the example that you see on the left here actually is the first small box kit of the Enterprise, and it used a variation of the original 1966 tooling. This was circa 1974. In 1975-76 time frame, AMT actually totally retooled the kit with new plastic, probably because the fit on the original kit was so bad. There were several other factors as well. For instance, the original tooling, as I understand it, was made out of aluminum instead of steel, so the molds probably needed a lot of work to keep producing kits, and they were starting to wear out. Since this kit was one of the best sellers that AMT had, if not the best seller, somebody at AMT decided, well, let's do an all-new tooling, tool it up in steel, keep as many of the original features as possible. Some differences did creep in. But anyway, I am showcasing these two models to give you an idea of what is different about the box art if you decide to look for a small box version of the long box kit. Reason why I make mention of that is many of the small box kits don't sell for as much as the long box kits do, and you can find some good bargains. As you can see, the boxing on the left, it's a bit trashed. I just got this in the mail today, but it'll work for this demonstration purposes because the artwork is still relatively intact. The box art itself, the one on the right here is actually the kit when it was produced by AMT Ertl starting in 1983. And one of the ways you can tell is it has an Ertl logo below the AMT logo. Plus, it also says number 6676. All the AMT pressings of this kit, with the exception of the round 2 reissues, use the 6676 number, going all the way to the black boxing that you see here, which was from the 1990s. The original version of the kit, or I should say the early issues of this kit, say AMT and part number S951 in red down here. It's probably a little blurry before, so let's see if I can zoom in just a bit. But that's a very small thing to see on a small eBay photo, and you might not even be able to see it on this footage, so I'll give you a couple other clues. Let's turn it to this side, and you can see the differences in the side panels. Kirk and Spock and the yellow diagram of the Enterprise are pretty much the same on both boxings. At the top they say special decal included, contains the names and numbers for all starships, build the entire fleet. This one right here, the AMT box, the original, the 951 issue, says AMT Corporation, Troy, Michigan. This one says made in USA by the Ertl Company, Dyersville, Iowa, subsidiary of Kitty. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. It says Ertl stock number 6676 supersedes stock number S951. So even if the description in an auction sale says S951, see if they've shot a picture of that side panel. If they have, and it looks like this, you are not looking at a 951 kit. You are looking at a 6676 kit. Turning it around to the other side, it says in yellow, these exciting Star Trek and other space kits are available at your favorite hobby center. In fact, on the Polar Lights reissue, on the round 2 reissue of the K7, they've actually reissued this box art side panel. The 6676 kit issue, though, actually has information about the Starship Enterprise and has another diagram on it. So that's going to be another telltale sign that what you are looking at is a later pressing and not an earlier one. But in order to know whether you've got a long box tooling in a small box or something else, you have to look at the contents, and let's talk about that for a while.